What's up, guys, and welcome to the channel. This is Tyler Tote. If you want to accomplish all your dreams, change your life, and really take control from being a passenger in your life to in the driver's seat and creating your own future brick by brick, guys, tune in. I got the cheat code for you today. This is a money-back guarantee. The best news is, too, this is completely free. I'm selling you nothing. This has absolutely worked to completely change my life. It's advice that one of my early on mentors, a guy named Phil, shout out to you, Phil, still love you to death, passed on to me about 5 years ago. I've now implemented with hundreds of my clients. I've seen amazing results. And so I want to share that with you guys today. So what is this cheat code, you might ask? Guys, it is a locked in, non-negotiable, easy to implement morning routine. We win the morning, we start the day with intent, and we win the day. We start to stack wins and we start to build momentum that carries us throughout the whole day. Now look, when I was first told about this by my mentor, I'll be honest, I was a professional poker player. I was staying up late night playing poker, and I said, man, I sleep late. I'm not one of those guys that gets up early. Now, I'm not saying you have to get up at a set time. I got guys in my life I know that wake up at 3:30 in the morning. Shout out to my boy Mike Schiff. I think he's a little crazy. You got the Jocko Willicks of the world up at 4 o'clock showing their time every day, getting after it. What I want to do today is just say, hey, you can take all that off the table. I don't want to preach at you. Here's what the gurus tell you got to do. You got to have a 30-minute sauna. You got to have 30 minutes of meditation. You got to have, nah. Look, I'm a busy dad of 3. I got 3 different kids going 3 different spots every morning. I got a lot of clients needing me. I got a lot of stuff I got to do. This is a locked in morning routine where I'm just hitting quick wins. I want to share that with you. Hopefully you'll take away some things that work. Maybe you tweak some of them. You put your own spin on them. That's what I did with Phil's. But I want to unlock your brain today that this is a cheat code for success and should be a non-negotiable thing that everybody does to win the day. So let's dive in. Now, first thing I want to hit is I use that word non-negotiable. Now let's get into that. So look, I'm just going to go ahead and say it. You need to have 4 or 5 little wins that you're hitting every day that are completely non-negotiable. I don't care if it's your birthday. I don't care if you're sick. I don't care if you don't feel like it. I don't care what happens. During this time, I had 3 one-year-olds. I had nights where I was getting little to no sleep. And so that's what I want to talk about with you today when we build in these wins. Too often I see people just get fired up. I'm going to change my life. I'm going to hit the gym 6 days a week for 2 hours. It lasts a couple weeks, then the motivation wears off. What I want you to think about when you're building this morning routine, and as I walk you through this, what would I do on my worst day? What would I look forward to? What are things that I like to do? And so as I build mine out and make it non-negotiable wins, number one, they're easy, they're attainable, they're things that I enjoy. So nothing that I'm going to go over is that big of a barrier, and I want you to think about that as you build yours out. Far too often, again, I see people say, well, why would I only write a little gratitude? I'm going to journal for 30 minutes. Okay, maybe work up to that. But again, on your worst day, on no sleep, when you feel like crap, what are the wins that you can non-negotiably hit? I'll get into exactly mine in a minute, but I want to back up a step here and say, look, it starts the night before. Guys, I share this with clients on day 1 of coaching with them. The highest ROI thing that I have done over the last 4 years is take 2 to 3 minutes every single night without fail, and I outline my next day. And I lay out my clothes that I'm going to work out. And I know what I'm doing then when I wake up to go. I don't wake up and think, well, what am I going to do? Am I going to respond to some emails? Am I going to maybe hit the gym? What am I going to lift? What am I going to do? I already have that planned. No good general goes into battle saying, I don't know, where do you think we should attack today? I don't know, what do you think? No good CEO is running a company saying, what should we try and sell today? How should we market? What do you think? Guys, they got plans. Your life every day, it's one of my favorite quotes. It's right here on my shoulder. Make each day your masterpiece. I want you to think about every single day as your masterpiece. How do you make this special? You're never getting it back. So when I talk about taking 2 or 3 minutes the night before, mine's very simple. I have a little notebook. I literally write, okay, I look and I say, okay, here's what I'm training tomorrow. If it's an off day, it's a walk and some stretching. If it's a lift, it's a different body part. I lay out my clothes right by the door. So I write down that thing. Here's the time I'm getting up. Here's exactly my morning routine that I'll go through after this. My clothes are already there. It's already decided before. I even look throughout my day and say, okay, here's my free time. If I get extra time, here's a couple, 2, 3 items I want to work on throughout the day. A plan is set. I cannot emphasize this enough, and I believe that if you're going to win that next day, taking 2 or 3 minutes before you go to bed is the highest ROI thing you can do. This is also a really hard habit to set. And I do want to make that clear. I started and stopped this one several times. What finally clicked for me and I want to share with you is I just set a night alarm every night. A little silent alarm, 9 p.m. that just said plan next day. Plan next day. That was just a cue to my brain and a reminder. Once I had that on there for a few weeks, it became very automatic for me. But let's be honest, if it's 9 p.m. and you've been up since 5 or 6, it's a lot of hours your brain's been on. All you want to do is head hit the pillow and be out. So set that little alarm, remind yourself, 2-3 minutes, plan the next day, and then we're ready to win it. Now, the biggest first thing I'm going to say with my morning routine, don't snooze. Look, well, how do I not snooze? I'm going to give you a very Jocko Willink type answer because I love Jocko Willink on the channel. You get up. You just have to make your mind up that I might be a little tired some days. That's okay. Now, guys, I'm going to tell you a little story. When I first started my self-improvement journey about 5 years ago, I remember setting my alarm. I told my wife, I'm all fired up. I'm getting up at 5 a.m. I'm going to work out before work. I'm going to be a better version of myself. This is what's going to happen. I did it for 4 or 5 days. And then the next 4 or 5 days, snooze, snooze, snooze. Couple things happened there. Number one, I'm taking a massive L. I lied to myself. I told myself I'd get up at this time and I didn't. Also, how's my wife view me now? I'm now no longer a guy that follows through and says I'm gonna do what I'm gonna do. How does that subconsciously affect her later? But the biggest thing to her was she started elbowing me and yelling at me. Are you gonna turn your phone off? This isn't, why am I waking up if you're not even getting up out of bed? Turn the thing off. So it was a real quick lesson for me. Okay, I need to do what I say I'm gonna do. And this might be hard for a couple weeks. I'll be really honest with you. The first couple weeks of getting up early is not easy. But once you win that battle in your mind for a couple weeks and you make it non-negotiable, guess what? Your body's tired. You ain't staying up till midnight like you once were. Maybe those first few nights, yeah, you're up till midnight, you're up till 1 a.m., boom, your alarm goes off at 5, 5:36, whatever that time is for you, and you spring out of bed. You know what? Guess what, guys? 9, 10 o'clock comes around here a few days later, you ain't staying up. Now, all of a sudden, you're on a better cycle. You're on a really, really good morning routine. So start off, number one, no snooze. You end snooze. We're not taking an L right away. We're going to hit our first win of the day with no snooze. The next thing I do, I have a full water glass primed on my desk right behind me, and I chug that baby like I'm back in college at a fraternity party, just getting after it. I chug that thing with intensity, and I have 2 full glasses of water, and this is exactly what I do to start every day. So no snooze, boom, I'm chugging 2 glasses of water. I'm just kind of a way for me to prime myself. Let's get hydrated. I also live in a desert here in Las Vegas. I'm usually parched. So you know what? I'm chugging a couple waters, getting hydrated. While I'm doing this simultaneously, I'm writing down at least 3 things I'm grateful for. Now this has evolved over time for me, and I've spoken a lot about gratitude here on the channel. But to be honest, what this looks like in the beginning for me was just, man, I'm really grateful for my health, that I woke up, I got an awesome wife, I got a great house, I got kids that love me, I got awesome parents. You know, it was a lot of generic things like that. That's great. Start with wherever you're at. Maybe you just write one thing you're grateful for. What I now do is it's usually from the day before. And this almost acts like a living journal for me. I'm so grateful when my daughter just gave me the biggest bear hug at the end of the night and said, I love you so much, Daddy. You're the best daddy. I'm so grateful that, this certain thing happened. It's really just a big cheat code, listing a couple things you're grateful for and starting to train your mind in the morning. Hey, we're going to see the good today. We're going to choose to see the good. I will guarantee if you're a human being on planet Earth, you're going to have some good things happen to you every day. You're going to have some bad things happen to you every day. And whatever you choose to focus on, that's what's going to expand. And so I'm going to start every single day, boom, hitting my 3rd win, no snooze, chugging the waters, hitting the gratitude and focusing on those blessings. Now the 4th one, and this one's awesome that I do, is I just take 1 minute. And now look, I got frustrated on a morning routine 5 years ago when I'm reading these gurus, these people telling me, you gotta meditate for 30 minutes, you gotta do all this, and I just couldn't. I'm not a guy that likes to sit still. I'm a guy that likes to get up and get in motion. So what I've done and what I've programmed into my schedule is after I write down the 3 things I'm grateful for, I spend 1 minute. 1 minute. And it's just a prayer of gratitude and a prayer of thanks. And look, if you don't share the same faith as me, then you can call it meditation, you can call it whatever you want. But for me, it's just a prayer that goes a little something like this. Thank you so much, Lord, for giving me another day. I just want to grow closer to you and you take the wheel today. I want you to help me change my mind and change my heart to focus on these blessings that I have and help me to be grateful for all the gifts that you're going to put in my way today. If any challenges arise, help me to see them as opportunities and grow through them, and just help me to be a light for you. Amen. So at this point, guys, we got 5 wins. We planned the night before, we've not snoozed, we've sprung right out of bed, we've chugged the waters, we've journaled the gratitude, we've said a little prayer. Awesome. I'll be honest now at this point, I used to have some affirmations in there about 3 years ago. Happy to share all those affirmations. Actually made a video about it a couple years ago. I used to, at this point, go stand in front of my mirror and actually tell myself who I was every day. I still go back to these from time to time, but I'll be very honest, with 3 kids, with me just needing to get out the door, I want to keep my routine very simple. And so sometimes, you know what, on the way drive to my gym or on a walk, maybe I'll say a couple of these too, but I want to keep mine short and sweet. Again, I want to be able to do this on the worst day of my life. Kind of a funny story. It was about 4 or 5 months ago now, but I actually had a really bad flu. And in between me getting sick and things coming up and projectile vomiting, I was actually writing my gratitude. So that's how easy this is. Hey God, you know what? I might be puking, but I'm still grateful that I'm breathing air. I can focus on that, right? That I'm grateful my kids don't have it. Whatever that might be. So even on your worst day, you can hit these wins. If we really break this down and look at it, okay, 3 minutes to plan my night before, that's the max. No snooze, 1 second. So 3 minutes and 1 second. Chugging the 2 waters while I'm writing the gratitude, we'll just call that 4 or 5 minutes max, usually not even that long. Spending 1 minute in prayer after. Guys, we're talking about 7 to 8 minutes to hit 5 wins, to start your day off with intent, to build momentum, and to really set yourself up for success for the day. Look, as you study the mind and the brain, what you're really doing here is you're creating a neural pathway that says, hey, we're gonna stack wins today. We're gonna win. Our brain starts now actively looking for more wins to hit. Immediately after this routine, the next thing I do is I get to work out in. At this time, it's usually about 5:10, 5:15, and I'm moving. So I'm either hitting my long walk or stretching, or I'm going to the gym to lift weights. You know, I now say that when I come back to my house, and I do all this before my kids have woken up, my wife has woken up, I've now bettered myself, if we really look at it, physically with the workout or the walk, mentally with the journaling, and spiritually with the prayer. Guys, I'm now a better version of myself. I'm ready to pour into my family. I'm ready to win the day. A couple other little notes I'll throw in there, and this one's really cool. It's the power of visualization. And look, I mentioned that I just kind of take a minute in prayer. What that really is for me is I'm praying and I'm actually picturing in my head what I'm going to be doing the rest of the day. Okay, I want to picture myself in the gym going really hard and intense, not just showing up and going through the motions. I want to picture and see that guy. I want to picture myself, how am I interacting with my clients today? Am I hopping on the phone saying, I don't know, man, I'm just off today, you figure it out? Or am I high energy, locked in, engaged with them, ready to help, ready to serve? I want to picture myself with my wife and kids and make sure that I'm my best version. The power of visualization is so huge, and just that 1 minute of prayer and visualization can really set you up for success. There was a really awesome study that I read back about 20, 25 years ago. They had a subset of kids that had never played basketball. And what they did is they took a bunch of kids that had never played and they said, hey, you just work with the coach. You're just shooting a free throw. For 1 hour, all they did was just practice a free throw over and over and over again. The other subset just practiced with a mental coach. Hey, just visualize that ball going through the net. Visualize that motion over and over and over. See the ball go through the net. Guess who won every single time during this study? The visualizers. There's a reason high achievers and CEOs and athletes and all these guys talk about visualization and talk about this stuff. But to be honest, guys, I was always like, yeah, that ain't for me, man. I don't have 2 hours to sit there and visualize, right? I'm in a hurry. What I've really realized is just taking that 1 minute to really move from subconscious to conscious in the morning and tell yourself who you're going to be and say that prayer and ask for help to do it and hit those other wins just sets you up for success. Guys, win the morning, win the day. Make this non-negotiable. Do this for 60 days. Come back and tell me your life has not changed for the better. I thank you guys so much for tuning in. I hope you have the greatest day of your life. Be sure to like and subscribe. That really helps the channel. I like to put out a lot more content for you guys here moving forward. Got 7 or 8 new videos outlined I'll be firing off here in the next few weeks. Much love, and you guys go have the greatest day of your life. Be kind to yourself and be kind to others. Thanks for tuning in.